Hello, hello, my friends. How are you all doing today? I hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to talk about me. Specifically, me as a teacher, what my classes are like, and why I teach the way I do. I've been teaching since 2019. As of now, as of filming this video, that's 5.5 years. That's crazy, bro. Here's what I've learned from being a teacher and how it changed how I teach. Number one, not demonizing mistakes. To demonize something means to label something or treat something as really bad, even evil. I could also use the word stigmatize here. To stigmatize something means to label something very negatively. For example, school stigmatizes mistakes. If you make too many mistakes, you are punished for it. Schools treat mistakes as the worst thing you can make. But if you think about how people learn, you know that mistakes are part of the process. In fact, mistakes equal progress. You cannot do anything perfectly the first time. So, in my classes, I am very relaxed about mistakes. The first phrase I teach my students is nitpicky. Nitpicky describes someone who cares way too much about tiny little details, especially mistakes. I am not nitpicky. This means that I am not the best teacher for everyone. Some students want a very nitpicky teacher, and that's okay. That's personal preference. I am not nitpicky for a variety of reasons. First of all, I value, I care about communication above all. If I understand your message, then communication was successful. That's my number one priority: successful communication. Second of all, I do not want to stop you every time you make a mistake. Stopping you when you make a mistake stops the flow of the conversation. So the conversation is less natural. I teach conversation classes. So the goal is to have natural conversations. Third of all, there's research that suggests that instant correction is not the most effective method in conversation. Instant correction is better for things like grammar exercises. But in conversation, instant correction may not be the best method. So, how do I correct mistakes? I make notes about mistakes, and during a natural pause in the conversation, I will talk to my student about that mistake. I focus on patterns of mistakes. If I hear you make the the same type of mistake many times, I want to talk about that. I think this is more effective because then you can make one change and it has a broad effect. If I don't understand what you are saying, I will make a confused face like this, and we will figure out your meaning together. And I will make corrections then. But usually, I make a note and then we talk about it later. Number 2, comfort is king. When we say that something is king, it means that that thing is top. I most often hear this expression to say cash is king, although that is probably not true anymore. But in my classes, I want my students to be comfortable. I want my classes to be fun and relaxed. If the student is stressed, anxious, or worried, it makes learning more difficult. There's actually a name for this: the affective filter hypothesis. This hypothesis says that when a student's negative emotions, such as stress, fear, embarrassment, or anxiety, when those negative emotions are high, it becomes significantly more difficult for learning to happen. I know this from personal experience. The language classes I took in high school were awful. I was so stressed, so anxious, and I was not able to learn very well at all. So, based on my experience as a student and based on the affective filter hypothesis, my goal as a teacher is clear. My goal is to create a fun, safe, relaxed environment for my students. When students are relaxed and happy, they learn more, they learn better, and they learn faster. Finally, number 3, the value of taking notes. When I first started teaching, I wrote my notes by hand. The notes were just for me. But then, early in my teaching journey, I was also learning French. And I took a class with a French tutor, and this tutor used a Google Doc to share notes with me, including corrections. I thought that was great. So I started to do the same. Every class, I create a Google Doc, share my screen, and then type notes during our conversation. It's really useful to do it this way because then both of us can see what's happening. I don't just write mistakes and corrections, I also write example sentences, include links to other resources, pictures, etc. At the end of class, I send my student this document so they can reference it if they like, or do nothing with it. That's also personal preference. So those are 3 things I like to do as a teacher and why I do them. If you're still watching, leave me a comment with a pencil emoji so I know you are one of my loyal viewers. Also, if you have had an English teacher in the past, what techniques did your English teacher use that you liked? I would like to know. Thanks for watching, friends. Until next time, bye. Oh, my legs. Oh, gee, forgot to have my water. Pip, do you want to come say hello? Hi, buddy. It's Pippi. Do you want to sit? No, he doesn't want to sit.